Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stripped by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people in between. My name is Steph Sia. I am the host of the show. I'm also the editor, producer, a one-woman show for this show that I have produced since 2019, and it's all about sex work if you're brand new here. It's all about destigmatizing the industry, and I do that by bringing on different guests on every single week to talk about their corner of the industry, any ongoing issues that are happening, anything that we are looking to fight. There's lots of advocacy here on this platform here, so I hope you stick around because there's lots to learn, including on this episode, which is all about contest week in the cam world, which we will definitely get into very shortly in a few short minutes. But if you are new here, I am a sex worker as well. So I started off as a sugar baby many moons ago. I am also a dancer, been dancing my butt off all this week. So a little bit low on the energy today, but bear with me. It's been like a couple months since I've done this. And I'm also a cam model as well, and a digital content creator. And amongst other things, there's lots of things I have dipped my toes in. It wasn't for me, but I feel like I've found my footing in the industry. I've been in this industry for 10 years now, and it's ever changing. I'm growing. I'm definitely not an expert in anything, but I try to bring on the best of the best onto the show so you all can learn a thing or two. If you have been listening here for a while and you're wanting to support the show, there is a Patreon for that because a lot of people were asking me, like, where do I send donations? How can I support you? You're doing this all by yourself. There is a Patreon for that. So starting at $4 a month, you can get access to a lot of behind the scenes content, upcoming announcements, and bonus episodes. Currently exclusive video content. We could get full episodes before it's released up on the platform. So feel free to check it out. I'm not going to promote that any longer here, but it's patreon.com/strippedbysia. And if you do like shows like this, if you are interested in the adult industry and looking to educate yourself further, you can check out my network, which is Skyhawk After Dark TV. They have a lot of other adult industry podcasts and videocasts over there, along with so many different guests that I've had on the show. They also have their own show, so feel free to support. It's skyhawkedafterdark.tv. And last but not least, we've got Fox Digital. Anthony Joe is a friend of mine. He's also made my website, strippedbysia.com, which has been funded by patreon.com and all you lovely patrons over there. Fox Digital is providing Stripped by Sia listeners with 20% off of new website builds if you're looking to maybe rebrand, or if you have a new persona or something, or starting in the industry, need an online presence. Anthony is your go-to guy. So it's foxdigital.design for 20% off. Just tell him I sent you. And back to the show. I've been trying to get that shorter and shorter, and I've been successful in that. So kudos to me. I did mention, yay, life's little achievements. I did mention that we are talking about contest week today, and I'm very excited to talk about this because I have graciously returned to StreamMate this past week, actually like the week that we are recording. And of course it happens to be contest week, which means it's very busy. It can be very slow and connection issues, but which we'll talk about that later on in the episode. But I thought it would be very fitting to bring on someone who is in the industry and has been in the industry for a long time, over 20 years in the business, 14 years cam model, now the studio owner of Treasure Cams. I'm very happy and pleased to bring on Bella Vendetta onto the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to be here because I listen to the podcast, so it's always cool to come on a podcast you listen to.
Yay, that is so freaking awesome. And I mean, you are also a certain level degree of awesome because you do so many things as well. You're a writer, you're an educator, you're a dominatrix, you've been camming, you've multi-award winning director, producer. What am I missing, Bella? I can't list them all.
Photographer, and graphic designer, and web builder. All of it. Anything you need to do to be in the industry in the digital age, I'm probably doing it.
Oh my God. And I thought I was complaining, like, I'm the producer and editor of the show. And you're like, and I do all of the things digital. Kudos to you. I commend you. It's absolutely admirable.
It took a long time to get here, so like, don't don't think anything about it. 20 years is a really long time.
Yeah. And 20 years, I mean, like maybe we can start off with you. Let's talk about, I guess, 20 years ago. What brought you into the adult industry?
I had a topsy turvy journey. It wasn't linear at all. I actually started as a pro dom. I had a personal kinky life as a teenager, and then I met a dominatrix, and I didn't even know that was like a job that you could do, and I was so thrilled that it was. And
Yeah.
I ended up training at a BDSM training chateau, like a lifestyle house, for a year before becoming a dom myself, and did that for many, many years, working in a house and other dungeons before ever having my own space. And I ran my own dungeon for a while. Um, then in that time, because you're doing photo shoots for like pro dom stuff, like that was in the days of like DDI magazine when you would like print pictures of yourself in the newspaper and stuff. And I really liked doing photo shoots. So I started modeling more, and that sort of led to adult work and porn and fetish modeling. And so I did some porn. I did some mainstream porn. I did some queer porn, some underground porn, some experimental porn.
All the
Um,
porn.
all the porn, all the types of porn there was to do, really, like, quite honestly. That's not true. There's so many types of porn. I shouldn't say all, but many. I explored many different avenues
Categories.
in categories. And porn, some notoriety and awards in porn led me to feature dancing opportunities. And so that was my first taste of stripping, was as a feature dancer. I was so spoiled. And I didn't know it. And I just really loved being on stage and thought like, oh, I should be, this is the shit. Like, people hand you the cash. This is where it is. It's not in porn. It's right here on this stage. And so I started focusing more on dancing, and I became a house dancer for a company that owned several clubs. And I kind of went around to 4 or 5 different clubs and, you know, had a really nice following, made a really nice living. I used a lot of that money to bankroll my own films and produce my own films. So totally sex work funded the like trajectory of all of that.
That's so awesome.
And I danced for like 14 years as well, and really loved that. And then I became a manager of a club for some time, and then COVID hit, and everything changed.
Yes, everything did change. Seriously, since COVID, for sure.
Yeah. So the club shut down. You know, that was.
Oh no.
I was like actively dancing and doing special events for clubs when that happened. So that was like, I was really lucky because I had all this background in online stuff. You know, I had my own website for some years, and I had good connections in the porn industry, so I could get work if I wanted it. But so many people didn't have that. Like, so many of my friends and fellow dancers at the club were just didn't know what to do. Like, had no way of making money, and really cut off from supports, and like pandemic assistance wasn't given to prurient, you know, businesses here in Massachusetts. So there was not a lot for them. So that is, I started signing up en masse my friends for cam and like teaching them about OnlyFans and like doing like these little like Zoom master classes with my friends and trying to hook everybody up. And I did that for so long, like 6 months, until I was like, this is like 20 hours a week right now that I'm doing this. And I'm fielding phone calls, like tech issues, and like, I'm really doing a lot of work. I think I might need to, and I'm enjoying it genuinely because people are making money and I like it. I was finding that like I get a thrill when people that I help make money just the same as I do when I make money myself. So I thought, maybe I need to open a studio. Maybe I need to do that. You know, I was kind of, it's always been hammered into a lot of us indie performers that like studios are so evil and bad, and they're just these like awful places that take advantage of you. And so I just thought, like, what could I do what would it look like to have a like ethically run cam studio? Is that possible? Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I think you can. So, so I started officially the studio in 2020 and signed a lot of models. I learned whatever I thought I knew about cam. I learned triple the amount from understanding the back end and doing the studio part. It was like, much like for me dancing, when I became a manager, I learned so much more. I was such a better hustler and I had such a better understanding of the dynamics of the way the money moved, where the finances come from, the vendors, all that stuff that goes into making the club. When you're a dancer, you show up and like, you are what makes the club, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like being a studio owner is the same for me with Cam. I have really a deep understanding of, I feel, the customers, the market, the traffic, where it comes from, how you can capture it, all of this stuff. That I'm a person who loves data. So for 20 years, I've been collecting it. And now as a studio owner, I get to like dissect it, give the info to people, and then collect more data on how it's working for us all. So
I love that.
that's what I do.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap. So you have quite the history. You have dabbled a fair bit in this world and in so many different sectors too, like especially like, with your humble beginnings, working as a dominatrix and within the BDSM community, and then working your way into porn, and then working your way into the strip industry and the cam world as well too. And like, you've had like so much experience in each of them. It's almost like as if you had like 4 or 5 different lives.
Yes.
In this industry. That's so freaking cool. I mean, did you ever do anything at the same time, like concurrently, or were there all kind of like separate chapters during that time, or like?
Most of it has been like, it's sex work, so very rare for someone to do one thing and that's the only thing. So there's always been multiple things going on. Even now, I run the studio, but I also run this little photography studio, which I love. Photography is something I love, and I'd gained some momentum with it in the last few years, steadily booked, blessed in that way. But I was realizing, when I think about really what I love doing the studio more than I love photography. So I shut down last year, at the beginning of this year, the commercial side of the photography, and I'm only photographing treasure cams models now. It keeps me very busy. We've got a lot of people, and they love being in front of the camera. So like, I always have something to photograph that's interesting,
Perfect. It's a gift that keeps on giving, it sounds like.
At the same time, right now, I also have my own website, Vendettaverse, which is my adult work, and all of the collection of photo sets and videos and writings and interviews of the last 20 years all goes on that site. So it's a lot of work. Those are 2 like full-time jobs that I'm doing, and I'm 42 now, and I feel like I've learned that you can't run around and do 10 things all at once. You'll never be able to do 10 things great at once. So I think I'm good now. It took me a long time to learn to hone in on where the money was and what made me happy and how I can make money while feeling good about myself,
Totally. And it's such a great story. I mean, like, we haven't even gone into the topic of the day today or like the topic of the week yet, but I'm just so interested in you. I mean, if we were to shift gears, talking about like starting treasure cams and how you learned so much from being a studio owner, and talking about like an ethical studio. That's really cool, because you never ever hear that.
No, you don't.
No.
No.
Tell me about like the ethics behind it and like why that's so important to have.
Well, so, I try much also when I was a strip club manager, I would try to have like a mentor, like find another club manager who was cool and who's had beliefs that align with mine that I could learn from. But that didn't really exist for me. I never really found that. And I felt the same when I went into webcam studios. Like, pretty much a lot of them are run by men who've never ever been on cam. They give you like a sign up instruction, and that's pretty much the length that they go to for helping their performers. And a lot of them, the tactic is to tell the models to work more, work more, work more, work more. I came up in a bad studio myself that was, I learned a lot from. I won't say that I didn't, but the main tactic was to like shame that you're not working enough, shame that you're not on cam enough, shame you're not doing enough hours. And so I knew what I didn't want to do. I knew I definitely didn't want to make people feel like that when they interacted with me. I wanted to actually genuinely help people. And so I spent a long time before I even opened the studio thinking about how can I bring value? Like, why would someone want to sign up with me? How can I bring value to them? How can I actually help them? I was already helping a lot of people just by the info that I had about camming myself. Like, you do this, you click here, set it up like this, that kind of stuff. But it needs to go beyond that. So how can I give continuous help and feel good? Because I'm going to continuously get a cut of that money. So how can I feel good about doing that if I'm not providing something? So I set out to build performer-only forums and I sat and wrote every piece of knowledge I had in my brain about the industry and cam specifically in that forum, and made it searchable. So you can search, like, what is the algorithm like? What kind of camera is the best? Here's some links to buy the camera. Here's where it's going to be on sale. Here's the best time the site is busy. Here's what you do when it's slow. Here's how you cross promote. Just like anything that I could think that I've ever thought of to ask, I would put in there. And as I signed up more models and they would have asks, it would go into the forum so that people could search it. Other people got to add to it to say that, their perspective and whatever they had to add. So it's become this kind of living document of information, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We don't have a lot of spaces for that on the internet anymore for sex workers.
Yes. I was just going to say, like,
we have that.
Huge
and
kudos to you.
Meetings where we all get together and like check in, sometimes about a certain topic, like contest week, or sometimes it's just a check in. And then sometimes we have workshops and have like guest speakers come in to talk about various things like sales techniques or taxes for cam models, or like industry specific things that will help us. Our most popular one that everyone loves is Improv for Cam, where we just have like a theater person come in and talk about the transferable skills from theater to being on cam, and like how to elongate cam shows and how to yes and the customer, to keep things going. So
love
things
that.
Like that. And so
that
that's
is so cool.
That's a reason to sign up. That's a reason to stay. And it's important to me to cultivate a group of people who are really serious about the job, because it's not, I learned early on that you can't just sign everyone. Not everyone's going to jive with what you're doing. And to keep people motivated, you have to have motivated people around. You've got to kind of be a team that works together to be the best and to get that fucking money. That's what we're all here for.
Yes.
Money. So
you understand.
We're getting money, and if they're not, then we fine tune, figure out how can you get more money? What can we do? How can we market? How can we switch it up? How can we get you more traffic? So that's my job. That's what I do all day.
Wow. I am so in awe of you. Like, I am just very impressed and so happy that you're providing all this for all of your models on the site, because unfortunately there is still like a lot of gatekeeping in this community, in this industry. And I don't understand why. Like, there's no need to be competitive like that in that kind of sense. Like, this information and resources should be attainable for everyone, because don't we all just want to make money? Like, don't we all just have the same goal in mind? Like, what? Yeah, right. So it's really, really refreshing to hear this, because I'm also the same way. That's why I did the podcast, because I just like when I was a sugar baby, there was nothing out there. It was super hush hush. I made so many freaking mistakes, like a lot of questionable things where I could have died, like not great, not smart. And I just wish I had someone to talk to, or like some kind of resource or something, not just to help me to succeed, but also just to practice safety and, boundaries and all that stuff. But so kudos to you. I'm just like praising and bowing down to you about that. It's amazing.
There's no guidebook. I didn't have anyone to tell me how to do things the right or safe way, or how to protect myself, or my own mental health, even, when I was doing this job, or how serious it was when I got into this job. I didn't have anyone that did that. It just all got thrown at you, right? And you kind of deal with it and learn as you go along. And I always think, like, sometimes I just actually did a one-on-one consult with a model yesterday. She was like, "Can I send you a tip after this?" And I was like, "No, you don't send me a tip. Why would you do that?" It's just so valuable what you're telling me. Like, I sat with her to figure out, okay, let's figure out the best schedule for you. What days do you have available? And then we figure out the hours that are the best and how many hours you can feasibly and sustainably work, because it's not just going to be like, do 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, work.
Yeah.
Take days off. In fact, the days off are so important. I tell people they should schedule their days off before they schedule their work days. Figure out what you need for rest before you figure out what you need for work.
100%. Oh my gosh. And
we'll
go into all the things later for sure.
If I was coming up, if I had someone to ask, hey, is this a good rate for this? is this a smart schedule to have? Like, I can't imagine having that. So you try to be the light. that you want.
I love that. I mean, if we are going to start talking about contest week, I
Yeah.
feel like maybe we should start at the very beginning because there's a lot of people that are not in this industry or just listening to this podcast as a resource, and lots of civvies and stuff that listen to the show too. Like, what is contest week, or not in the cam world specifically, that corner of adults. So maybe we'll just define what contest week is for folks.
Yeah. So it's not always a week either, but
True.
Cam contests, they pop up with a pretty regular basis, I think, on almost all platforms, and not even just Cam. They come up on,
other areas too.
Subscription platforms, and a lot of places in the adult industry have contests. Cam specifically really loves contests, and specifically the Streamate platform that we're both on. Treasure Cams actually started as a Streamate only studio, and we have since expanded to several other platforms. But so I've spent a lot of time on Streamate contests, and I will say that as a model, when I was on Cam, I hated the contests probably like anyone else. They are much hated by most performers in the industry, grown when contest week comes around, and I was no different at all.
Preach.
Until I learned the back end a little bit, and then I changed my tune about it and realized that it could be an attainable goal for many people. So their contests are a day long. Sometimes they're within a few hours. Sometimes they're a week long. Sometimes there's multiple contests within a week. And the platform will award usually the highest earners. And sometimes we'll have other contests like cutest costume or cam setup or something like that. Right? They all have their own different ones.
Stick. Yeah.
They all have their own little
they do.
And so we all dislike them. I think that's fair to say, right? Or I did. I can't believe I'm like here saying this, but when I saw that you were like wanted to talk about this, I was like, this is near and dear to my heart because I totally have changed my tune on this. I was right with everyone hating them. And the first couple months of having the studio, and there was a contest, and I always told everyone, like, don't worry about the contest. Just cam like they're not happening, just do your thing, pretend the contest is not even happening, and don't let it stress you out or bother you. And then someone placed, a Treasure Cams want to place. I was like, wow, she didn't even really try. She placed. She placed by having good ranking, by doing her hours and being consistent, all the things that I talk about on how to make money on cam anyway. So the contest was rewarding people who were putting hours in already.
Right.
Now, there's people who go on that site for 60 hours a week in cam. That exists. There's people that do that. They make a lot of fucking money. The reason they do that is because they make a lot of fucking money, like a lot. I don't personally recommend people do that unless you need a lot of fucking money for some reason, because it's not on the body, the physical health, and the eye strain and the mental strain of that all. It's a very demanding job. So, so we often see the same people in the top like 100.
Yes.
And those are the people that are camming 40, 50, 60 hours a week. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
I think I used to feel salty about it, like I still see people do online. They have the same people every time. That's because they're working. My attitude right now is like, good for them. They deserve to be awarded. Any cam girl that puts in 50 hours a week deserves a fucking bonus.
Totally.
Let them have it. They deserve that money. The attitude has to be gratitude. It cannot be, I should have that, but I don't. Because if you want that, you can get it. Anyone can put that many hours in. Anyone can do that. Any one of us
those hours in.
Approved to stream can jump on cam and cam for as many hours as you want. Now, that's not like the best tactic for placing in the contest. But the best tactic is what we already know, is to have a consistent schedule and to have your ranking be good. And the way you get your ranking good is having consistency. So if you're doing that, the contest shouldn't bother you all that much. If you cam sometimes here and there for extra money, which is totally valid, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But if that's what you do, then you can't get mad that the people who are consistent are being rewarded.
Totally.
They just have that reward. They do.
It's a different hustle.
It's a different hustle. That's right. Like, you just can't be mad about it. If you are, you got to step back and really figure out what you're mad about. You know, you can't be mad at other sex workers getting more money than you that are putting in more hours.
Yeah.
And you can't.
That's work.
Yeah, right. That's the way
so
it
much
works.
work. Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and they deserve it. You know, I think anyone who's gotten that prize money has deserved it. I know every Treasure Cams model who's ever placed has really deserved that shit. They really, really deserved it. They worked really hard to get that. So once I figured out that, like, we're already here, we could go hard and get here, then now we've got models placing in the top 200, taking home that extra $500, $1,000 sometimes. That's a really nice bump in your paycheck. It's not undoable to do. You just have to have a schedule and be consistent. You have to bring it. Now, Streamate, in particular, I actually pulled it up because I said there must be a contest coming up, right? Like, it's
I think this one's almost done. Like, at the time of
recording.
There's
another one. No,
there is. Of course, there is. Of course.
Now, my biggest piece of advice to any Streamate model is when Streamate sends these emails out saying, this one says 4-course contest. Don't roll your eyes and scroll through it and just look at the dates.
Read it.
They're actually telling you what you need to do. Right. They're telling you. There's still time to earn big during the bonus event happening November 12th to 18th, where you can earn between 10 to 50% on eligible earnings. That's a lot, friends. That's a lot. Yeah. 10% of whatever you make, plus maybe even 50% of what you make, that is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so this one is, you're invited to attend this year's 4-course contest November 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, which they pretty much do these a lot on holidays. One of the main reasons for that is because not a lot of people cam on holidays, and they're trying to attract more models to the site, right? It's marketing. Right. Just like we market to customers, we are the customer to the platform, so they are marketing to us. And it is working when you get all worked up about it. Four chances to win and $1,750 grand prize. That's a lot.
That's
for the top 500 people each day. Now listen to this part. Let your regulars know when you plan to be online and invite them to join you. Use hashtag SM Contest to promote your shows on social media. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm,
do what they're saying. Let your regulars know there's a contest going on. I'm going to go extra hard this week. This is the hours I'm going to be on. Let them know. If they're your regulars and they're your fans and they like you, they want to support you. It'll make them feel good. And many times the customers, specifically on Streamate, they know about the contest. They know all about it. They know it makes you salty. Yeah. They know it better than some of the models do sometimes. And so let them know. I'm going and be jovial about it. You can't be like, another contest. Please support me because it's so slow when there's a contest. Like, marketing to them. If the contest is marketing to you, use the contest to market to your audience. 100%. It's contest week. You can expect this extra special thing, this new outfit, this new toy, this new shtick, this new thing, whatever it is that you do on cam and that you're selling, use it. Let people know about it. Send those little mass DMs. Those are like gold. Send those out and let people know this is contest week. I'll be there. Streamate also told you, use hashtag SM Contest. They're offering you free promotion, which equals more traffic to your room. Take advantage of it. It's hard to get promotion in this world in 2023 here in the adult industry. If someone's offering free promotion, take it. Let them send you the traffic.
They're good at doing that too. They're really good at reposting and stuff a lot as well, which is, as you mentioned, it's free. It's free marketing. It takes a second to do that. So take advantage.
And, just like with the top contest people, you see a lot of the same models kind of that they keep pushing, and some models will be salty and be like, they keep pushing this model. It's because that model's doing the work of doing the hashtag, sending in the picture, asking to be promoted, and they're having consistency. That's why. Right. Are they going to go out of their way to promote you if you go on once every 3 months for an hour? Probably not. Are they going to go out of their way if you're on your social media talking shit about the contest and how much you hate it? Use your brain on that one. I wouldn't want to.
No, definitely not. So,
So
like, yeah, there are a lot of incentives to have if you guys haven't gathered already. There's a lot of like matching happening, bonus and top ups that happen as well. And also it's a great like time for like almost like discoverability as well if you end
yes,
up ranking.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so there's a lot of competition during a contest, right? Everyone streams, everyone
Hmm.
sees that, and they jump right on. But the people who are going to get the best ranking are the people who are being consistent, and they're going to be on page one, you know. So it's not rocket science to get there. It's just building a schedule that you can keep and maintain. And for those of us who've been on StreamMate for some time and some years, I encourage you to collect your own data and keep a journal, and you
Hmm.
can know what contests are coming up. You can guess that pretty much every holiday there's going to be a contest.
Always.
But you can
Yeah.
also go back in your book and see that every June, whatever, they do this best face forward fresh spring thing that they seem
Oh,
to do every
yes.
year. So then you can prepare yourself mentally, you can prepare your space, you can start promoting it to your fans already and know what your schedule is going to be. You can adjust your schedule to put more hours in, or not, or don't, or just do your hours. You don't have to partake in a contest either. That's the beauty of being,
Yeah.
a sex worker who works from home, that you don't have a boss and you can do whatever you want.
Totally.
So, so if you really hate the contest, which some people do,
Hmm.
you don't have to stream. You don't have to partake in it at all.
Yeah.
This is where having backup platforms and different opportunities and multiple streams of income will come to play. If you hate contests, you can do
Absolutely.
Nightclub that week. You hate contests, go on Chatterbait. You hate contests, you hit up your Sex Panther. You make some OnlyFans content. You do whatever other thing that you do to make money, but don't let it wreck your time on cam, and don't let it completely bring you down and throw you into a spiral.
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes get intimidated with contest week because it can be a lot going on. And, the rooms can feel slow and stuff too. And, as you mentioned at the top of the episode today, talking about, yeah, like a lot of us criminals can be kind of salty whenever it's contest week. And I just feel like there's been a lot of contest weeks lately. And maybe we can kind of dive into those reasons and just give like full transparency as to why some of us might not enjoy contest week, which is a completely valid feeling. And, maybe you don't want to be on the platform, but let's maybe explore some of those reasons why people hate contest week as well.
I think probably the number one for StreamMate in particular is that there's a lot of tech issues and glitches when contests
Yes.
are happening, right? This is like an ongoing thing. And I've been on the
Hmm.
site for 14 years, and for 14 years, that has been the way. So now I know that. So why would I get mad about it? Like, I already know that that's going to happen. I have to prepare myself for that. If you prepare yourself for anger and frustration, that's what you're going to experience. But
Right.
being frustrated about something that is out of your control doesn't change any of the things that are going on. There's nothing you can do about it. So I like to remind people of a couple things. The first one is that StreamMate's making more money than you are. So trust and believe that they want that shit to be working more than you do. And they are busting their butt. I know it might not seem like it sometimes, but there actually is teams of coders, teams of people working behind the scenes, whole teams of people, whole rooms of people that are working to get the stuff back up again. A lot of times contests are used to attract a ton of models where they're trying out a new feature or something. And so I think they've never said this and they probably never would, but the mentality is probably that like there's so many models that it won't matter as much if some of them get dropped off or bumped over because stuff is happening. So you just prepare for it. Now we know that. If you're listening to this and you didn't know before, now you know. There's
Now you
glitches
know.
that happen during contest week, always and forever. There probably always will be. They're going to. It's when they
Yeah.
roll out new features, when they're trying out new stuff. They're sitting there and monitoring that to see what's going on. I can give you some tips and tricks on how to handle these glitches in these things, right?
Sure. Yeah. Let's dive into that too.
First one, to not go on Twitter and be like, another fucking glitch on the site. Jesus Christ, it never works. At StreamMate, get your shit together. That's not
I
going to
have
do anything.
also seen that a lot.
It's wild. It's not going to help you in any way. Writing to support and saying I'm having this glitch probably isn't going to help you too much because they probably already know about it, and B, you're not giving them enough information. They need a ton of information to be able to fix this stuff. So like Treasure Cams models, we have our own internal glitch reporting system that I ask like what system you're on, what browser you're using, what connection you're on, so that if I write to them, it's not just like this model got booted off, but it's like, this is the information I can give you. Can we determine if this is a problem like with on their end or on StreamMate's end? It's usually on StreamMate's end. It's usually nothing with the models on StreamMate's end. But anyone can do that. Anyone can write to support. And if you're going to complain about a specific thing, say, this happened at this time with this customer. I'm on this computer. I'm using this browser. This is my connection. This was the issue. They are a lot more apt to be able to help you figure out or troubleshoot it with you than if you just write in and are like, I keep getting kicked off. I had someone in private and then they had to leave. Like they can't do anything. I feel bad when models write to me with it, because like I genuinely feel bad. I've been there before, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about it.
You need the specifics to fix the problem, because if you just say the general thing, like how are you supposed to know where to pinpoint and where to go and to tackle what the main issue is? Like, give them a little bit of context, at least. At least. I know it's frustrating, but we've all been there.
Oh yeah, it is very frustrating. But like I said, now I gotta let the anger of it go. Like, I just know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be glitches. So how can I prepare for that? How can I keep myself from getting too frustrated? Can I make sure that I have a camera set up so that if I keep getting kicked off, I can take a break, maybe shoot some content, maybe do something else. Maybe I can be just streaming somewhere else. And instead of going online and being like, got kicked off again, I'll be streaming on Chatterbait. Jesus Christ. Like, just show up on Saturday and then try back on streaming in an hour or so. It'll probably be fixed by then. If not, then you don't waste the makeup and the lights and everything that you've put all this work into. Don't waste it with a sour attitude, because by the time you get back online, you're going to be like, hi, Big Dick 69. Oh, you're leaving? Great.
It's so freaking true.
It's not how you get a customer. It's not how you get the money, especially during contest week. There's so many people streaming. Imagine being a horny man and seeing 50 different half-naked women in front of you. You can click on any one at any time. And when you click on one, there's some on the side that are being shown to you too. Like, don't be mad. They're distracted. They're clicking through. They're seeing what they like. They're like hungry people at a food truck festival. They're just wandering around where their nose leads them. So
where their dick is leading them. So
absolutely. And sometimes they don't know until you interact. So if you're sitting there like this and they come in and you're like, oh, hi, it's like walking into a shop when someone's on their phone and then they're like, oh, can I help you? And you already feel like you interrupted them, and like that's not what you want.
It's not enjoyable for them.
It is. It's not fun.
No.
It sucks to hear, but you just got to be like this and be like happy to be there and responsive and say hi to people and keep your energy up. So create yourself shifts that you can work through and keep your energy up through, instead of suffering for 8 hours and sitting there with horrible posture and feeling bad about yourself. Like, create something that, like, I know I can do 2 hours at a time, then do that. Do whatever you can actually do.
Yeah. I mean, like, talking on the same line of like saturatedness and like just the amount of sheer volume of people that are streaming at that time. How best do you tackle that in terms of like, okay, potential members, the number is really low and you're like feeling discouraged. Like, how do you work with that?
So I will tell people, if it's slow and you're like, your energy's starting, because it doesn't feel good, right? To too many hours sit there and be like, hi, oh, okay. Hey, John, do a show. Oh, you're leaving. Okay. Like, after a while, all right, why am I here? And I'm starting to get sad and I'm trying not to let it show. So what can you do? What can you do to get traffic? Can you go on Twitter and take a cute picture and say, I'm online right now, please come join me? Can you message a customer that you know personally and be like, it's slow on cam, come entertain me? Can you go on Reddit and post something? Can you go on your OnlyFans and go live there and maybe try to get some money at the same time on your phone? Right. Can you do something to bring yourself up? There's always something. Right. And if you don't know what that is, then I suggest you make yourself a list, because you'll forget sitting there. Make yourself a list and look at it and go, oh, right. I can go fishing on Sex Panther while I'm sitting here, at least,
Totally.
I can take some cute pictures. I can, you know what? I have my regular's phone number. I can text him. I can do all these things, whatever thing that you're doing. There's something that you can do. And that doesn't guarantee that you're going to make the money, but at least you tried. You tried,
Yeah.
didn't you?
And still being productive though too, because like I know it's so easy to get into that hole of like, it's so slow in here. And I'm like that too, even at the club. That was like literally me 2 nights ago. And I was like, there's no one in here. I can't make money. There's no one to sell dances to. Similar thing, but it's like a hole. And once you get in the hole, it is so hard to get out of it. So like trying to keep your energy up, as you mentioned, trying to keep your spirits up, just trying to stay positive, entertain yourself, do something, keep yourself occupied. I love all those things that you mentioned too, because they're very practical things that you can do, and a lot of us do. So thank you for that, Bella.
I suggest also making a contest playlist for yourself. Get some songs that get you amped up for when you need that extra. Okay, here we are. We're in it to win it. We are here. And just like dancing on cam, it takes just one person can make your whole fucking night. You can make your whole paycheck with one person. It takes one person to become a real true fan. And the way that you do that is by letting your personality in your beauty show. And it's not going to show if you're sitting there negative. They're not going to connect with that. The worst type of customers connect with that, right? Like the worst.
Yeah. And you don't want that.
You don't want
that. You don't want that.
You don't want that. That's how I feel about all the negative tweets about like, oh, another glitch. It's just like you're marketing yourself right now. Like no one wants that. No one. That's not making someone go, oh, I really want to go see her on cam. That sounds like fun. A glitch, awesome. Like no one. But even if it's slow, you can say that like I'm too cute for it to be this slow. Come join me. Something you can find a way. You know?
Zhuzh it up a little bit, or like make a joke out of it, like keep it light and stuff too, because I know like we talked about this, not this specific thing in terms of like toxicity, but like McKenna King and I, like another creator and full service sex worker, we're talking about anon accounts the other day, and just talking about the toxicity that is spewed onto like main accounts, even spilling onto main accounts. She was just saying like no one really wants to see that. It is valid. Your feelings are valid, but sometimes like Twitter is used as a marketing tool. Do you only want to be spewing negative feelings out there? Like, do you want to be known for that? Is that what your persona is? Because that's what people are going to see. That's what your clients are going to see. Your fans are going to see. Like,
they're going to remember it too. They're going to remember it. Trust and believe. They actually might think, even the next time you can, when you're like, come join me on cam, I can't wait to see you. They might think, I actually know you don't even like that job. I don't want to go and spend money on you because I know you already said it. I know that you hate it. I know it. That's not a good feeling. If my nail lady was tweeting how much she hated her job, I would probably feel a way about going there. Like, oh my God, I'm like,
you wouldn't want to go there.
I wouldn't want to go there. So, I always tell people to think about like you're a restaurant and your Twitter is like a restaurant's Twitter, like a business's Twitter, You wouldn't want to put like, could you imagine if McDonald's was like, our customers are the worst, most annoying fucking cheapskates we've ever met. California, are you serious? Like, that's not good marketing. So you just got to realize that you're a business and that your social media is your marketing.
Yeah, totally.
Have a separate account for
that.
For that, or a journal. Better yet, don't put it on social media. Have a journal for it. And also, I think it helps to, we're lucky in the studio. We have each other to connect with and commiserate with. But I think it's good to have other cam models that you can talk about this stuff with that are experiencing it without it turning into like a total negative drain fest. Yes. But like someone that you can be like, oh, I looked so cute and I was so excited to make money tonight and my fucking camera just kept crapping out. Like someone that knows what that feels like, how crappy that feels,
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. But yeah, it's good to like bounce and air out like how you feel with other models, but also like it's a great idea to kind of like bounce ideas off of as well when you're feeling like I'm kind of stuck in a rut. Like, what else do you do? And like, how else can I like kind of transform into like my own thing as well? Like, again, like sharing the knowledge is wealth. In my opinion. And it's good to have a support system because sometimes this world, and I've said it many times in this podcast, this world can be very isolating and you could feel very, very alone. And I mean, on that topic, can we also talk about mental and physical health and your well-being during these long contest weeks, these long contest days? We need to talk about that for sure.
Yes. So, first of all, if you plan on going hard on the contests and like working, make sure that you plan appropriate time off as well, and not time off where you're like cleaning the house and cooking dinner and doing whatever else, like actual
Time
legitimate
off.
rest. You deserve it. Your job's very hard. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. It is a demanding job physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like doing a lot of toy shows, you're probably sore. So
Yeah.
figure out what your body needs for that. Do you need ibuprofen? Do you need a bath? Do you need some Epsom salts? Do you need a massage? I hope you made enough money and you can get all of those things that you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if all of that like doesn't feel good and you do the contest and it feels like shit, then you don't do them. Don't
Yeah.
subject yourself to it. Don't keep torturing yourself. Just find something else to do, an alternative income source for that time. Or you just camp like I used to do. Just camp and pretend it's not even happening. I didn't place in the contest, but I still got my regular check. It's not going to ruin your life. Just pretend
Yeah.
like it's not happening. The people that are doing all those hours and going hard, that's for them, and you can have your own world on cam. You don't have to be part of any of that.
Totally. Yeah. Like remember that you have the choice to participate or not. Like it can be a lot. And when you, for example, like was it this week? I think it's like camming of a minimum of 25 hours, and you're like 25 hours, like that's a long time. And even trying to like divide that into your days and trying to make your schedule and stuff like that, like those can be long, long days. And I've heard other people complaining about like, oh my God, I just need a few more hours and really trying to push themselves. But like, at what point is it too much? And, you should really just call it quits.
Well, so it's about what's your purpose with cam and how much money you want to make. Because for me, I work 40 hours a week, so 25 hours isn't that much. If I could make a great living doing what I'm doing in 25 hours, I would be thrilled and ecstatic. When I think about my time dancing, those were like 8-hour shifts with a fucking hour drive to the club and all that shit. Like those were long ass hours. So doing a 5-hour shift in cam it's just a shift. I know it sounds like a long time, but if you approach it like a regular job, it's not. You can take a break, you can walk away, you can have a snack, you can get lunch, you can structure your day any way you need it. But if you're just there for like 5 hours a week, again, you can't get mad if you can't put yourself in competition with someone doing 25 hours a week, because you're never going to get there, and you're going to end up feeling bad about yourself. But you could do 25 hours if you wanted. For some people, that is not possible for a variety of reasons, or they just don't want to, which is totally valid. That's fine. Cam can be an extra side thing, but then these contest things, then you just need to leave it alone because the contest
Yeah.
people that are like really that this is the main source of income, that they're putting
Yes.
hours in and treating it like a job.
Oh, absolutely. And you have to do it that way. I mean, you don't have to do it that way. It just depends on what your purpose is, like what your priorities are with camming or whatever it is. Doesn't even have to be talking about camming specifically for this topic, but what is your purpose for sex work? Like, is it just a side thing, or is it just like something that you rely on? It's a full-time thing. You need it to live. You need to kind of determine that
Mm-hmm.
and stuff as well.
And sex work is unique in that like we're all mixing together. People that are doing 60 hours and treating it like a jobby job, people that are diddling here and there and have a day job but have an OnlyFans. Like all of us are in this together, and that's unique. Like
Yes.
there's not many other jobs in this world that a chef who owns a restaurant isn't generally going to mingle with people who have a food truck one day a week. But
Yeah.
here we all are doing our different thing together. So you just have
Yeah.
to realize the layers that there are to sex work and really be honest about which one you're at. Which layer. So they're all valid.
Totally.
All of them are.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. Definitely not like shaming anyone at all. Like, because like, for myself, like my OnlyFans thing is a very part-time thing. And I'm doing camming a bit more because I have other obligations in my life personally. And that's just me. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like nobody else's business except for yours. And you're welcome to run your business the way that you please. Right.
Mm-hmm.
As
Mm-hmm.
long as you treat it as such. Because it's work.
Yeah, you become
Um, You mentioned earlier, Bella, like taking the importance of taking breaks, and then I kind of want to like lean into the physical aspect of camming as well to kind of like end this conversation as we move into other marketing things at the end of the show. But like camming is very physical in so many ways. How can we help balance and ensure that we're taking these breaks? Because like as you mentioned, we could whether you're sitting and just like slouching, or whether you're just like I'm just camming for hours and hours on end and you're like I don't want to leave, it's like exclusive back to back. Tell us about the physical aspect and how we can achieve a bit more balance with that, especially during contest week.
I think it's really important to take a good hard look at your cam space and set yourself up for success. I see a lot of people cam from like a bed, and please don't do it. You're going to hurt your back. If it doesn't hurt now, it's going to hurt you in 5 years. You need some type of back support when you're camming. So right now, I'm just telling everyone this, right now is a really good time to make a list of things you might want that would make your cam space more physically comfortable for you. Maybe it's a heated blanket that you put under your butt because it gets cold in there. Maybe it's a mug warmer. These are all things that I've personally gotten for myself. Maybe it's a mug warmer that you can have hot tea and it doesn't get too cold. Maybe it's a wedge pillow so that you can use it for your back. And then what do you need after too? Maybe do you need ibuprofen? Buy it. These are all going to be write-off things that are for your business, right? And set
Exactly.
yourself up for success because it is a very physically demanding job. I absolutely think that. Even though I would say the majority at this point of my cam career is spent talking just like this. I don't do so much jumping around and going upside down and doing all the shit that I used to do. Talking to people. So if you are having physical limitations or you have disabilities that make it so you can't do all this stuff, I have RA for myself. So doing really repetitive motions is really hard and will lead me to a flare up, and then I can't work the next day. So now I know that. So now we're not going to, that's not even going to be a show that I offer. Sorry. Maybe I need to get a fuck machine to do it for me because I can't do it with my hand. Maybe I don't offer that. Maybe I am doing something else. Maybe I have a stationary toy in the wall. It's whatever. Everyone's body is different. So everyone's going to have a different thing, but don't feel like you have to offer all of these things because you saw someone else doing it. There's ways to make money on doing anything that you want to offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually you mentioned something that I didn't think about too, but yes, it's a lot of like, oh, that person's doing that thing. Like I should start doing that and start offering that. But sometimes like you'll quickly find out maybe that's not for you.
Yes.
Right?
Customers will come in and ask for things too, and you'll be like, well, everyone's looking for anal. I mean, I would probably make a lot of money if I did anal, but you don't really personally like anal. Don't do anal.
Do it.
It's going to hurt you. You're not going to enjoy it. It's going to maybe even give you some sexual trauma because you're doing something sexual that you don't want to be doing, and that's never what you should be doing with this job. So you don't offer it. That's okay, because guess what? There's like 5,000 other people live, and probably one of them is doing anal. That customer's not for you. Don't feel like you're missing out on money. There's a different customer that's going to be for you, because we all know who's going to come next and be like, I'm Sissy Peggy. Do you like to do cross-dressing? That's a totally different market. Like there's JOIs. There's so many different ways.
So much. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole thing too. Cause it's just like, even when it comes to like specific requests that people are wanting you to do, and there's things that make you feel deeply uncomfortable. And I know there's money and stuff being dangled in front, but like as much as you can, like really try to practice your own integrity and what's important to you. What are your own values in this? And like, what are you comfortable? What are your boundaries? Really make sure that you can assert that, because you don't want to be doing something that you're not comfortable doing and don't want to do, because you're going to feel like shit after. I'm sorry to say.
And that's where good gatekeeping comes in too, because you can take notes on every time you can. Tonight I did this. It made me feel like this. I wore this. I felt good. Then you can look back in like 6 months and be like, every time I wear red, I make money. And it looks like every time I do JOIs, I feel disgusted. So maybe I need to just, when people ask for it, be like, I'm doing this. I'm doing this instead. I'm doing foot shows. Are you into that? Like, just redirect it. You don't have to say no, 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 and feel like, no, I don't do anal. No, I don't do this. I'm just saying the word no and turning people off. You just turn it around. It's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
I do this instead.
Yeah, maybe they'll nibble and bite on that one instead. You never know. Turn that into something else. Oh gosh. I mean, Bella, this has been such an insightful conversation. I'm really, really hoping that this would help a lot of the other cam models that are listening in the audience or those who are wanting to get into cam. I know a lot of people have been interested in writing in about this. So thank you so much for your expertise. There was a couple questions that did come in from the audience as well.
Awesome.
Maybe we can kind of go into that before we close it
Yeah,
all
yeah,
out. Cool.
absolutely.
Let me just pull up my questions here. Great. So this person writes in, I'm just thinking about getting into cam. What, in your opinion, is the best equipment to get started with? And this person is on like a lower budget.
Mm. Well, now's a great time for that because it's about to be Black Friday and there's all kinds of sales.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and this is like, it's a hard question to answer without knowing everyone's specific budget because it's wildly different for everybody.
Yeah.
But the best piece of equipment to use for cam is the one you have. So if you have a
Yeah.
smartphone, don't feel like I can't start until I get this camera, this light, and this computer.
Right.
Start with what
Mm-hmm.
you have, learn the platform, make some money, and then you can begin upgrading. And you can
Mm-hmm.
even include your audience in your upgrade. Like, I love camming with you guys, but I really want like this new Logitech camera. It's on my wish list. Can someone please get it for me? Free
Yeah.
custom for whoever gets the camera, whatever kind of thing and incentive that you want to give. So don't get too caught up in I need X, Y, and Z before I can start. You have what you need to start. You don't need fancy outfits. You don't need fancy toys. You don't need fancy anything. You can start with a smartphone.
I love that answer because I know a lot of people get so like, I need to make sure that I have everything XYZ. I got to cross it off my list before I get started. And the next thing you know, a year has passed.
Yep, I know. I've fallen
Literally.
into that myself. Absolutely.
Me
You know, my
too.
camera's not set up exactly the way I want. It's like, set up your shower, get in there with your phone, make some money. You'll feel good after you make the money, and then you'll want to invest more time in your cam space and figure out what you need. But a lot of times when you're brand new to cam, like, it doesn't make sense to drop money on a whole bunch of stuff because you've never tried it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine
Hmm.
that you've never been in a gym and you want to become a personal trainer and you go out and buy a bunch of barbells first. Like, get in the gym
Yeah.
first. See
Try
what's out
it first.
there. Yeah, try it. And then you can figure out what you need.
Exactly. Sound advice. This person is writing in. This person has wrote in, out of your treasure can models, what shows have worked for them in terms of ranking, if you
Mm.
know?
So it's important to know, and you'll see if you ever go to treasurecams.com and check out our model index, that all our models are so wildly different that I can't say like JOIs work because it works for everyone because we have models of, from ages 21 to 53 who are all ranking and doing completely different types of shows. So
Totally.
I think the show that's going to get you the best ranking is the show that you love doing the most. And my
Mm-hmm.
advice for that on Streaming or on any campsite, we all know that people come in and say, "What do you do?" And
Yeah.
my advice is have an answer for that. Don't be like, "I don't
Yeah.
know. What are you looking for? I don't know. Everything." Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really good at this. I love strip teases. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that's not what they're looking for, they might be turned on by your enthusiasm for what you're doing. So,
Totally.
so the best show is the one that you love doing.
Yeah. I love that too, because like even if like you don't have a specific thing or there's something that you enjoy and you like, maybe that person wasn't looking for that, but maybe they stick around and maybe you're gonna get a new fan. Maybe that's gonna be something that they're gonna like in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Just try and lean into what it is that is enjoyable for you.
Yes. And if people aren't asking for it, but you're like, I really want to do foot shows, but no one's really asking, then when they ask what you do, say that. I really
Yeah,
want to
it's a
get
good
into foot shows.
opportunity.
Like, I'm so excited to get into foot fetish. Do you want to try that with me? Let them know. Like, I'm just learning about this thing, but I really want to like do more shows like this. Or I just got this butt plug. I really want to do some anal shows. Whatever you really want to do is probably what people really want to see.
Yeah. And I don't know, like my audience like loves it when I just try new shit. I'm like, hey, I've never done this before. And like I kind of like lean into that, like I'm shy, like try to like get the hype from the audience and be like, I could use a little bit of encouragement. Tell me your feedback, stuff like that. But
And guess what? Contest week is a perfect time to try those new
yes.
doing things and let your audience know it's contest week. I'm going to be doing wax play for the very first time. Tune in at this time, stuff like that. It's perfect timing.
Definitely. I mean, before I let you go, Bella, where can we all find you?
My website, my personal website is vendettaverse.com, and that's where all of the content lives, and interviews and writing and photography and like all of it under one umbrella. Treasurecams.com is where you can find info on the webcam studio. We we do not say yes to every single model. We make sure that it's a good fit and that we want to be working together. But the holidays are a wonderful time to be in the new model category, and I am really good at pushing new models in the new model category. So it's a great time to sign up with us, and we have tons of perks for that, including some paid promo videos and bonuses. You can find me on social media pretty much everywhere as Bella Vendetta, Instagram, Twitter, all the places, Facebook, all those places. I myself am not performing that much anymore, but I will be doing a live show on Stream8 December 21st to bring in the solstice, the winter solstice. So I'll be live then. Rare chance to come and see me. It should be fun.
So now you gotta go see Bella's show. Oh my gosh. For everyone else listening at home, it is Stripped by Sia on all podcast platforms. If you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, I would love and appreciate a 5-star review or whatever star rating that you feel is appropriate. I'm not going to be like, only 5 stars. I love 5 stars. But whatever you think is great for you, especially if you're finding value in this show, because I do it for free every single week, and it's fun, and I love it, and I just really want to provide more education and information out there to the world. So feel free to do that. And if you want to get in touch with me, it is Stripped by Sia on Twitter. It was on Instagram, but now that one it was suspended. So it's Stripped by Sia podcast on Instagram. You can find me there. You can also find me, of course, on my website, which is strippedbysia.com. Especially use that if you want to pitch yourself to be on the show. And of course, if you want to help out financially, it's Stripped by Sia on Patreon. So patreon.com/strippedbysia. And I believe that is everywhere else you can find me. Of course, Facebook as well, Stripped by Sia. You can find me everywhere, Stripped by Sia. Oh, and on YouTube now as well, Stripped by Sia. And yeah, it's new episodes every single Sunday, dropping at midnight Pacific Standard Time. And that's it, folks. That's everything for this week. Bella Vendetta, thank you so much for joining me today on today's show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was great fun. I don't often get to talk to people outside of the studio about cam stuff, so thanks for listening, and keep the faith out there. Don't let contest week get you down, okay? You got this.
Thank you. You're listening to Stripped by Sia, hosted, produced, and edited by Steph Sia. Music by Ted D. Graphic design by Maria Bellandarama, and photography by Ian Dabrin. Are you a sex worker looking to build a new website or a website redesign? Then you'll want to consider Fox Digital. They did a fantastic job designing my website, Stripped by Sia. If you want your website done, mention that you're a listener of the show at foxdigital.design for 20% off. Tell them I sent ya.